This is Matt Pearce. Jesus Christ gave us the goals, but Gandhi gave us the tactics. Hi everyone, Simon and I and Ken, we're very happy to welcome Albert Chan as a special guest on this week's show, who most of our listeners will know is one of the recently re-elected lawmakers who represents the League of Social Democrats. Welcome and congratulations, Albert.
Thank you.
And we're very lucky and happy to have you on, hoping to hear your views on what's happened in terms of the election and so on.
And we should call Albert Your Excellency, because you're called the king now.
The honorable.
Yes. Oh, no. I mean, your honor, the honorable, of course, you use it all the time for electoral member, but I say Your Excellency was because you got called the king. The king of ballots, isn't it?
That's right.
That's why I call him Your Excellency.
The king of the ballots, the political editor of the South China Morning Post. I don't know if the other Chinese newspapers have made a point, have sort of talked about your particular result is actually very interesting. I'm interested to perhaps ask you straight away, because apparently you got more than 3 times more votes for this by-election that happened on Sunday than in 2008.
Well, because this is a totally different election. The last time we have the proportional representative system, we have exit, so it's highly competitive. We have more than, I remember, around 14 or 15 contenders. So it's very competitive. And so there you have many other pan-Democrats fighting to share your vote. So even for a lot of family, they split their vote. Sometimes a family of 4 or 5, then they will split their vote. One for one candidate. Of different party. So the whole thing is very different, and you cannot compare the outcome of this election to the others. And also you cannot claim that since you get this vote, that many vote this time. Next time you can, receive similar amount of vote. To me, it's completely different election, completely different strategy, and completely different outcome.
And how many people were standing in your particular seat?
Oh, this time it's only 5.
Okay.
But some of those are non-contenders. It's very different. If you have the DAB running, if you have the Democratic Party running, the whole thing will be different.
But still, in 2008, you defeated the Democratic Party candidate, didn't you?
Civic Party.
And the Civic Party.
I just have around 6,000 votes more, than he did.
But in terms of numbers, you got in 2008 around 30,000, was it?
Yeah, 36.
36. And this time is 109,000.
3 times more.
Yeah. I mean, still, that's quite impressive in terms of getting that those people who did vote for whichever other party before to vote for you.
Well, I think if you put others, people in this, in my shoe, even from the Democratic Party or even from the Civic Party representing the pan-Democrat to win in this election, I think they will get similar votes. Because I believe the vast majority of those people who are voting this time, except some of those people that I know very well in the constituency. Otherwise, I believe more than 90% of those people who vote this time will vote for the pan-Democrat candidate, regardless of his names and backgrounds.
But Albert, as we see that, actually you mentioned in different occasions that when we call you the king of ballots, you're a bit regretted to take that, because you mentioned that after all this is a de facto referendum. Yeah. After all this is an election issue about the functional constituency. It's more about than you as Albert Chan running in the election. However, would you agree that, because in the sense that last time in the last election we see that you were Fernando Zheng of the Civic Party were fighting for the last seat, and you were almost on the brink of losing that seat. I mean, there was quite a fierce fight, but this time you are the king of ballots. After all, there must be some personal people there might be, because you can't ignore the fact that there might be some people who voted for you just because you're Albert Chan. There could be some people like that. We don't know whether all of them take that as a de facto referendum. So would the results this time put you in a more secure position in the following elections, if you're running again, of course?
Well, I may not run again in 2012. That is another 2 years. As I said earlier, the voting behavior, the voting intention and patterns, if compared to 2012, will be very, very different. So you cannot claim that those 100,000 people who are voting for you this time will most likely vote for you next time. I don't believe that will be the case. So because you will run against different contenders, you will have different issue, and you will have different political debates. So the whole thing will be very different. That will be a new ball game. But
at least through this by-election this time, or this de facto referendum this time, you might win some more hearts of someone who might not previously voting for you just because they thought you have more guts.
Well, definitely. For example, a few years ago when we opposed, the link sale, of the public housing property, the property market, the property of the housing department at that time, we were being condemned. People who said that they support me before and they won't support me in the future. So there were a lot of negative criticism. But a few years later, after the link issue become more clear, people said that we were right, and then they changed their mind again. Politics change all the time.
Sure.
Right? 2 years is a long time in politics. For the League of Social Democrats, we will continue to maintain our position and our platform. We will continue to be confrontational and to challenge the government and also the establishment. And but in 2 years' time, you will never know the attitude of the Hong Kong people, because right now the Hong Kong government style and also their attitude, the public doesn't like. The public have very strong views against the government because of the pro-business policy, because of the livelihood of the people that is deteriorating. So a lot of people are complaining and have very negative views of the government. But in 2 years' time, you never know. If the situation change, if the government is more liked by the people, then they may not support the League of Social Democrats as they used to.
And in terms of the overall picture of the election, how do you view it? Because obviously, different political groups are portraying it in the outcome and the turnout differently. Some people are saying 17% is a low turnout, and that shows that there hasn't been enough support for what the League of Social Democrats and the Civic Party were trying to do. But on the other hand, you could say that 500,000 people, 500,000 people coming out to vote for you guys is completely opposite. It shows that those 500,000 people were mobilized and want change. They want real democracy.
Well, I think that